Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Today's video is going to cover our food strategy for the John Muir Trail. Alright everybody, so our resupply strategy for our food on the John Muir Trail is really influenced by how our permits came to be. We had a group of 5 hikers going this year, and with the group that size, it's really difficult to land a lottery permit out of Yosemite. And this year after COVID, northbound seemed to be a problem as well. We couldn't grab a permit for that either. So we had to get a little creative. So what we ended up doing was a custom itinerary out of Mammoth Lakes area. It's called a flip or flip-flop. Also heard it referred to as a MOBO, like modified bound. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to go northbound out of Mammoth Lakes from Devil's Postpile. And then once we get to Yosemite, we're coming back around to Mammoth again and going southbound. It's actually multiple permits, and the way we did it, with a third permit out of VVR, we were able to land an exit out of Mount Whitney. So yeah, we're doing the whole trail with an exit to Whitney, and we did not get it through the lottery. Now, this unique itinerary that we came up with is allowing us to come up with a very convenient resupply strategy, and we're not going to have to carry any more than 6 days of food at any one time. Now, I don't want to get too much into the itinerary itself. I will do a video on that either before our trip or possibly when we get back to explain how we arranged it and how we obtained those permits to make this happen. But for right now, I just want to concentrate on the food, the container I'm taking for the Bearikade, and where our resupply points are going to be. All right, so first things first. For the majority of the national forests that you travel through in the John Muir Trail, bear cans or bear canisters are required. There are some short sections where you can actually hang, but with the logistics of having to switch those out, it really makes a whole lot more sense just to go ahead and carry your bear can the whole way through the trail, which is what is most commonly done. Now, in the past, I've carried the Bear Vault BV 500. This year I'm actually deciding to go with the Wild Ideas Bearikade Weekender. Now, the Bearikade products are carbon fiber cylinders with some sort of an aluminum or metal lid that contain 3 torque screws to hold the lid on. So short of carrying a screwdriver with you on your trip, you need something to open up these torque screws. So my choice for that is going to be a standard 1-inch washer. And I have that hanging off a piece of paracord from a carabiner that I'm going to keep with my first aid kit. And this is going to be in my pack. Basically, I'll just open up the first aid kit. And I'll be able to open up the Bearikade. And then this goes right back in my pack when I'm done. Doing it this way, I've seen some people attach it with a magnet or some sort of a screw holding their washer in. The problem with that is, number one, the magnets can probably disappear on you. And if you attach anything via a cord or metal cord attachment on these things, that really gives the bears an opportunity to carry away your Bearikade, so I wouldn't recommend that. So I just use the washer method. Some people carry a quarter, whatever works for you. So the way I've gotten my resupply organized here, I'm actually downstairs in my basement family room. It's really the only place I had enough room to spread this out to show you. I have everything organized by each resupply point along the trail. This right here is an example of how I laid it all out. So just right here on the left-hand side of each resupply is going to be just general items that are going to be shared across each day. And then I start, each column is going to be 1 day. And then the rows go breakfasts to lunch and all the way down to dinner with some snacks, drinks, and everything spread out between. So each resupply is going to basically be set up the same way. Also over here on the left, I have a bunch of bags of trail mix and M&Ms. And what I'm going to do is tomorrow, when I'm going to be packing up the resupply buckets, I'm going to combine the trail mix and the M&Ms into one big batch and split it up between all the days of the trip. Also over here I've got a Mountain House diced chicken can, and this is going to be used to just supplement calories and protein. You'll see some of my resupplies have the Knorr side pastas, and they don't really have any meat in them, so I'm going to add this in just for some taste, some protein, and some additional calories. So for all of my plastic bags, I'm using the Ziploc quart size freezer bags. They just seem to be the right size for pretty much everything here, including the Mountain House meals. And the quart size freezer bags are really the ones you want to look for, because if you're just using the storage bags or sandwich bags, they're really too flimsy, too thin. They're going to be a lot less durable. And these really seem to take a beating. So some of the things I have in the extra column here, here's extra plastic baggies that I'm going to put miscellaneous items in. Trail mix. I'm actually going to break out my cookies and candy and combine them all into one bag so I don't have the extra wrappers to mess with. Each resupply is going to have some handy wipes that will be used for obviously doing your business on the trail. I am bringing a bidet that's going to go on the end of the bottle, so these will be stored in some little doggy bags that I'm bringing, and those will go into a larger Ziploc freezer bag. What I actually do with these is I take a big black Sharpie marker and color them on so you can't really see through it, so that kind of goes just to disguise what you're doing here. I've got some Cliff blocks, energy blocks with caffeine, just for the, whenever you need an extra push. Each resupply is going to have some multivitamins here that I'm taking. Just a couple extra snacks, and in every resupply I'm going to have one extra meal, just in case we get held up a day or something and we need to kind of stretch out our trip. And 2 or 3 of the resupplies I've got some Nutella, because this, oh my God, this stuff is so good. Plenty of calories, and this will go on some Mission tortilla. Make a nice little sandwich. And that is actually one thing I'm missing. I'm going to purchase them tomorrow because our resupplies are going to be packaged up tomorrow. We wanted to buy the tortillas very last thing to make sure we have the latest freshness expiration date on them that we can. One thing that I'm going to do here shortly is I'm going to break out these oxygen absorbers. After I get done tonight and start packing things up, the oxygen absorbers are going to go into anything that's going to be taken out of its original package, like the Mountain House meals, the cookies, the trail mix, and all that. They're just going to help keep the freshness a little bit longer. It's probably going to be about 3 weeks. These are going to be in storage and going through shipping. And the Mountain House meals, especially if they get any air or moisture coming into them, they're going to start souring early. Typically they're going to be fine, but hey, if we can put those O2 absorbers in them, might as well do it. Alright, so moving on to the daily food. Like I said, each column is going to be one day. So starting on our first resupply point, it is going to be Mammoth Lakes. And that's basically this whole resupply we're going to bring with us on the plane in the Bearikade. So we hit breakfast at Mammoth Inn before we go. Lunch, I typically will take a tuna creation or a Spam, something along that lines, and it be combined with Mission tortilla. 1 or 2 of those we usually do. I'm taking some Gatorades and Propel for daily electrolytes, and I'll have at least 1 or 2 of these snack cookie packs. And my dinners are going to consist of either Mountain House, freeze-dried meals. I've got some Knorr sides, and also some Peak Refuel and another brand or two of the dehydrated meals. Now for me personally, my appetite is pretty much suppressed on the first 4 or 5 days of a trip at altitude. It's just what I've experienced on the JMT, Highline Trail in Utah. It all ended up being the same for me. So I know I'm not going to eat full-blown 2.5 servings of pasta for dinner for the first few days. So I'm actually going to have a 2.5 serving Mountain House for 2 separate days of dinners. And I've done that pretty much for the first part of the trip all the way through VVR. As you can see, I've got 2 separate baggies. So when we are in Mammoth Lakes, I'll get to actually split these out into even servings, label them with how much water, which is I would just have the water requirements and the time that they need to be rehydrated. So over here on day 2 is going to be biscuits and gravy. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm bringing some of the Land O'Lakes hot cocoa. This is the Supreme, Chocolate Supreme. It's got like 140 calories just for a little bit of a calorie boost in the morning. Spam singles in addition to the tuna for lunch. Interesting thing I've found is, I know these are very popular, the tuna creations and chicken creations, and I thought these were the bomb. But if you look at the calories to these, they usually run between 70 and 90 calories for the regular size ones. Now obviously the jumbo packs will have more, but I started looking at the spam singles, and these things have 230 calories in one slice of spam single. And when I weighed them out, this weighs about 20 grams more than spam single, but this thing gives you 3 times the calories at least. So it's sort of a no-brainer. I replaced a lot of my tuna creations and chicken creations with the spam singles just because it makes sense for the calorie count. I left some of the Starkist in just to kind of change things up because spam every day is going to get old. So a couple other items I'm using here for breakfast are Pro Meal bars. I've got the Superfood Slam and some of these Lenny and Larry cookies. And then I got 2 or 3 of those as well. So as you can see on day 3, we're going to be hitting Tuolumne Grill through Tuolumne Meadows. So we're planning on loading up on calories there with burgers, wraps, or whatever they sell. So that's going to be a high calorie day, which will be halfway through our first leg. On the last day of our leg up to Yosemite Valley, we're only going to be eating breakfast on the trail because by lunchtime we should be in the valley. And we're hopefully going to meet some friends that I have in Fresno. They're coming up to see us, and we're going to have lunch with them somewhere at the resort there. And then in the evening, when we catch the bus back to Mammoth Lakes, we'll probably have something that we've purchased within the park, a sub or sandwich or whatever. All right, so for the second leg of our journey, we're going to be leaving out of Duck Pass, which is just outside of Mammoth Lakes to the south. Again, here's my general items here, my extra meal, Cliff Blocks. This one I've actually included a recovery drink by Hammer Nutrition. So when we get back to Mammoth Lakes the following morning, I'll take that just for a little bit of a muscle recovery. Trail mix baggies, again, that'll be filled in tomorrow. And my multivitamins for this leg. So here's our first day on the trail, second day on the trail, and by the end of the second day we should be at VVR, Vermilion Valley Ranch. So this resupply is also coming with us on the plane, and while we probably can't fit it into the Bearikade or the bear cans, it's going to be in a separate box with my pack in luggage. All right, so the third leg of our journey is actually a short one. We are going to send a priority mail flat rate box. It's going to be shared by 2 people, myself and Brian on this particular case. Since it's a very short trip from VVR to MTR. It's a day and a half to 2 days. We should be able to fit 2 people's food for 2 days in there. Again, commonly shared items here, just some snacks, some Utella replacement, because I'll probably be out of it from the other legs. Trail mix bags again, some Cliff Blocks, and the 2 days of food. So when we leave VVR, we're going out via Bear Creek. So we'll have breakfast at VVR, catch the shuttle to the trailhead, and from there we'll pick up on the meals. This setup is pretty similar to the rest. One of the things I've got different here is one of these Knorr rice pasta sides. These are the meals that I'm going to be putting in some of the Mountain House chicken, diced chicken in to supplement what's there. I also am going to try out the Peak Refuel meals on this trip. I've got the home-style chicken and rice here, and I've got some biscuits and gravy I'm going to try as well. Alright, so leg 4 of the trip. This is going to be our longest section of the trail at 6 days, 6 full days of food. Over here again I've got just the refills of the common items of Cliff Blocks, my toiletries, vitamins, snacks, and the trail mix. Nothing really different here as far as the food content. It's all the same stuff, but just want to note that when we get to the last day here, we'll be eating dinner at Mount Williamson in Independence at Basecamp. Alright, so leg 5 of our trip, which is the big one, Mount Whitney. When we leave Independence, Mount Williamson, we're going to have breakfast there. They provide it for you, so obviously we're not going to carry that meal. Everything else is pretty typical, so I've already covered. And we will be finishing out the last day with dinner, because when our ride shows up to pick us up, it's probably going to be well after dinner time at Whitney Portal. Alright guys, well, after a very long afternoon and evening getting our food condensed down, getting ready for packing them into the resupply buckets and boxes, I think we're finally done. So I just want to kind of take you around and show you what we've done. Alright, so if you remember previously what our lineup of food looked like, and here is what we're looking at today. So everything has been repackaged. Finally got my tortillas today, so they're in the bag. My cookies, candy, trail mix down here, all in their own little baggies, so they really don't take up a whole lot of space. All the mountain houses have been put into their own bags. Again, I split most of the dinners and breakfast into 2 separate baggies, just for a portion of meals. And this is going to fit into the bear can right there a lot easier. Now keep in mind, not only do I have to have 1 resupply of food, but I've also got to get these things in there too. Anything that's going to have smell to it. My cup, suntan lotion, medications, bug spray, anything I have in there that's going to smell has to go into the bear can. I can't have it outside. Alright, again, here's all the the prep. Now I actually left this north side out of the baggie. I'm going to repackage it when I get to Mammoth Lakes, since we're going to have 4 or 5 days there. There's my VVR resupply. Again, a lot more compact, and hopefully Brian and I can fit our entire resupply for both of us into that box right there. I think we're going to get some Tetris practice. All right, Muir Trail Ranch to Independence. Looking pretty good. Still going to be a challenge to get 2 of our resupplies into that bucket, but we'll see. And here is the Independence to Whitney. These ones I have not actually taken out of the baggies either. The only thing I've done is I put the diced chicken in for the north side. We're so far out from this resupply that I'd rather leave them in the original packages and not risk having them go bad. Even if we have the O2 packets in there, we're still a month away from actually picking this up. So yeah, see, the repackaging in the Ziploc baggies really pays off in space and weight. We're just going to keep a couple of those Mountain House meal foil packs just to keep our food in while we're eating it, to keep some sort of a form to it, and that are reusable since they won't be getting dirty. All right, everybody. Well, as you can see, it is very possible to fit a lot of food into your bear canister if you really get creative, reduce your footprint inside the can with repackaging some of the food, and taking your time to really condense and take up and use up all the available space inside your can that you can. Now, obviously, I got my longest stretch of resupply in here, which was 6 days. It's technically 5 days in the can. 1 day you're allowed to carry outside of your can in your pack, with the assumption that you are going to be eating that food that day, because obviously you don't want to leave that part of your resupply around your tent or in your tent or anything like that, because it's definitely going to be taken by animals. So Bearikade Weekender, full 5 days of food inside it. Now, if I really wanted to take my time and repackage this in a slightly different way, I did just a quick cursory stuff in here, but you can get really detailed on how you're taking up the space inside the can. I can probably get a good part of that last 6th day into this bear can as well. Well, obviously the next step, once we've confirmed we can fit our longest resupply into the bear can, is packing the food up to get it out there to the resupply points. Now, this part is usually a little easier if you're a single person. The only challenge comes in if you are sharing a bucket or a box with somebody. You really got to kind of pack it in and All right, guys, so that is our resupply strategy for the John Muir Trail this year. If you liked this information and found it useful, please consider hitting the thumbs up below. If you like the channel and the videos that I put out, consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell next to it. That way you can be notified whenever a new video is released. So that's it for this video, guys. Really appreciate you stopping by. If you have any comments on our resupply strategy, go ahead and add it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.